Okay, members and friends, this is kind of a serious issue here, and is really coming to a head now, because I phoned up my daughter's lawyer's office and spoke to the receptionist that I've been, having a conversation with over the last 4 months, because we never can talk to the lawyer on the phone. Anyway, it's definitely a sign of shills. They say a shill is implanted to gain information for the other party, kind of like playing double fiddle. And just with the way this woman has been talking to me, trying to suggest that I'm preventing my daughter from going into rehab with her son. I'm not allowing her to talk to the social workers. Like, how pathetic is that? Right? Because the family, including Sierra, requested, almost a month ago to get a new social worker and a new office so that we can remove the conflict of interest, so that we can actually discuss my grandson in a reasonable manner versus, he said, she said, and I'm the social worker is the victim. So anyway, this woman, she's like, oh, well, you slammed you slammed the door on the social worker when she tried to pick up Sierra, and I'm like, no, I closed the door on the social worker because she wouldn't go away, and my daughter was deathly ill on the couch sleeping. So, and it wasn't anything that I couldn't do in terms of taking her to her methadone clinic to get her prescription written. So, if a receptionist to a lawyer that represents my daughter is accusing me of preventing the social worker from doing her job, when in fact it was the social worker, and I called the woman on it, well, it was the social worker who kicked her out and put her in a position where she became homeless immediately and exploited by not only the social workers, but by the people on the street, to where, she became a full-blown addict within less than a week because she couldn't get her methadone. Why isn't the lawyer addressing these things? Oh, well, no, they tried to bend over backwards for your family, and, they don't have to let them have visits with Andre, and they were trying really hard. Well, actually, no, on the contrary, my 17-year-old wrote a monologue of how difficult it was to see their nephew. Well, it's not his child, they're not his child, so, it shouldn't matter. Well, actually, it does matter, because he's our blood. Now, this is the receptionist to the lawyer that represents my daughter. Like, why would he even have the audacity to walk into another courtroom trying to represent my daughter when his receptionist is contrary to the best interests of her family, and her son, which is my grandson? I'm arguing with the receptionist. I phoned back, kept it short and sweet, said, well, you know what? Your opinion and how you think that, my daughter is not being allowed to go to rehab. We're going into 4-5 months. Where is the rehab? Nothing is stopping the social worker from phoning up and saying the bed is available. And if on December 6th they didn't want Sierra going in with the baby when my daughter wasn't full-blown addict, patiently waiting to go to the program, why didn't they put her in there then with the baby when she was healthy, when she was actually healthy? But no, they had to put her out in the streets, wear her down completely, play fucking mind games like they're still playing mind games, right? And now they're going to put her with baby in a rehab center after she's been doing drugs for the last 5 months since they kicked her out of the house on December 11th. And we're talking like shooting him up in the arm and crap like that, right? Not so much now because, trying to level her out with her methadone, but I can't help her. But they know that, though. That's why they did what they did, because they know it's hard to help addicts. Because addicts don't like to take responsibility for nothing. And they like to blame, put the blame on everybody else, just like these social workers. Well, we can't help Sierra because mother slammed the door in my face. Well, first of all, why did you even come to my house after 4 months of neglecting the situation and abusing my grandson and almost murdering off my daughter? Those are the issues that the lawyer should be talking about when we go to court, but it won't be, because it's a 1-hour conference, so everybody can sit there and point the finger at me and say, well, you're the problem. We don't want you to have your grandson because you talk too much. You tell the fucking truth, and we don't like that crap. So we're going to find a way to shut you down, you little bitch, and we're going to use the lawyers to do it. Now, my daughter may or may not keep this lawyer, but you know what? As far as I'm concerned, and once my family finds out what the fuck is really going on with this lawyer, nobody's going to respect him when he shows up on that case conference day, because he's not working for Sierra, for her son, my grandson, and he's sure to hell not thinking about the family. So this is a video response to that bitch that came knocking on my door. Give me Sierra. I want Sierra. Where's Sierra? Let me in right now. I said, Sierra's not feeling well. Don't worry. I'll take her to her methadone. Go away. Why are you even here? Oh, let me in. Let me in. No, go away. What part don't you understand? I closed the door because I knew the little coward, oh, cry me a river, I'm the victim, went to the perpetrator's house and put myself in the front of the fire to say to the judge that I can't communicate with her because she doesn't bend over and kiss my ass. I'm gonna post this one on the NDP freaking caucus Facebook page. Mr. Adrian Dix doesn't delete my videos. This is real life. This stuff is happening. And it's happening more than one person, and it's happening to more than one child. And it needs to stop. There needs to be accountability being put towards the system in terms of the justice system and the people that work within the system. And the social workers need to start being put into fucking check. And they need to start writing, actually using their language skills and explain what they're charging people of, and being the judge and being the jury, being the police, and being fucking everybody. So if they're being everybody, then what the hell do we need a judge for in a chamber when the social worker is already the judge? Like, this is sick. This is sick. The only living proof that we have is my grandson. And as hard as they try to bury him, they're not going to be able to bury him forever. Because at the end of the day, there's going to be an ending story to this. Mr. You-know-who? This family has absolutely zero respect for you and your receptionist. Okay, so I'm just going to put this with the one in front. Fact, December 6, 2012, social workers called my daughter in for a little mediation thing, you know, to make a plan. Said that they were going to put her into a rehab center with or without the baby for 3 months. December 11th, they showed up at the door, said that's it, she needs to learn a lesson, kick her out, or we're taking your grandson away, we're calling the cops. Sierra was on the phone saying, I don't want him to leave, so I just won't come home. From that point forward, she started to spiral down. That was December 11th. Today is April 18th. It's almost 5 months. Okay, where's this program? Now we've got the lawyer's receptionist saying, well, you're not allowing her to talk to the social worker, so how are they supposed to put her in this program? Well, first of all, she was just there like a week ago picking up some bus tickets, you know. So, you know, there's nothing stopping them from putting her in that program. All the paperwork is filled out. The social worker that day, after she left my house, you know, went to the doctor's office, filled out the paperwork that needed to be filled out, apparently. So everything's all good to go. So what's stopping the program? It's not me. The phone's been working, right? You know, it's not me. They can't use me as an excuse, although they're trying to. In terms of, you know, social workers bending over backwards so that, you know, my daughters can see their nephew after she tells me that technically they're not supposed to, they don't have to, you know, there's no relation to Andre and the aunties, so what's the point, right? You know, never mind that I reminded her that, you know, we helped raise him and this is his home. And so anyway, here's their services standard services. Standard and informational kinship care, you know, in terms of when they remove children, you know, placement when a child comes into care. So from the moment the child comes into care, there are certain guidelines that they're supposed to follow. And if you can see, I have highlighted, here, I even take it out because there's more than one paper there, right? I have highlighted, you know, what are you doing? I have highlighted, as you can see, I've taken the time.
Hold the paper up straight so I can...
As you can see, I've taken the time. Maybe you want to narrow in on that.
That's what I'm trying to do because
okay, I'll hold it still. Sure. Narrow in. You know. Freeze frame it for a second. You know, you can see I've taken the time to read each and every line and make comment into terms of how actually things did transpire for the family, you know, right? And then there's other sections.
Okay, it's not working.
Well, it's okay.
You're flailing.
We get the point. No, I'm upset.
I know.
I'm upset with this lawyer situation, as you can see. And here's more, right? You know, so it's a lie what this receptionist is saying. And for her to get so vindictive and malicious, oh well, you're stopping your daughter from, you're not allowing your daughter to go into rehab. Well, what kind of bullshit is that? I mean, come on. We've only been waiting since December 6th, 2012. Nobody is stopping anybody from that side of the fence from phoning up this phone number and saying, your bed's ready. So we got big problems because nobody's contacted me to say, yes, you've been approved for a lawyer, right? So I guess I'm doing a solo when the judge will throw me off in fucking jail for, what? Getting upset? Because I got a bunch of fucking baboons, you know, what do you call it? You know, those baboos, you know, what are those monkeys called?
Baboons.
You know?
Baboons.
Baboons, yeah, a bunch of baboons going in for the kill, right? That's what's going to happen here. Because when you got the lawyer's receptionist already treating you like the way the social workers treat you,
Okay.
you know, you got problems.
What's the number?
I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to verify that and a few other things. So, all right. Okay, I just want to add a couple of more things in here. Obviously, this whole situation is, you know, not making me feel well. And with all this reading and, you know, having to absorb information very quickly and doing it from all different directions because you're being told so many different things and how to do this and you should be doing that and you can't do this and this is the way it's going to be, so prepare for that. After, like, you know, I've been dealing with my daughter now since December 11th. Okay. So anyway, within the first week, full-blown addict. She couldn't get her methadone. It's been a living fucking nightmare. It takes me right back to when she was, you know, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Right up until Andre was born. And she's 26 now, and I am so tired. These people want to exploit my daughter's mental illness. They want to exploit her illiteracy, that she can't read, right? They want to exploit the fact that she has the emotional mentality of a 10-year-old, if not younger, and that she's been in numerous abusive environments, via through crack shacks and that kind of shit. And they want to turn her against me, right? Because it's like, oh, mom's holding you back. Mom's preventing you from having your baby in the rehab center. We're just going to pop you in there with half your hair out, and, you know, you're just, you know, and you've been shooting up drugs for the last 5 months, but we're going to put you with the baby in the rehab center, right? Because that's the right thing to do right now, right? So, and since we can't do that because it's all mom's fault, you know, we're just going to get you more pissed off with mom so that when you're at home with her, well, we make you wait for this program. You know, 5 months later, we're still waiting. Where's the program? I don't fucking see it. I haven't been seeing it. There was no intention for a program. So this is pretty messed up stuff. And of course now she's going to teach, my daughter's going to teach me a lesson. Everything that these lawyers and the judge and the social worker and whoever else enables this crap, right, to keep Andre, you know, they're going to use that hurt that she's feeling right now, right? Because I'm saying, like, you need to leave. Like, I can't wait for the program anymore. You know, I've been waiting for 5 months, and I've been cleaning up after you, and, you know, you're not allowed downstairs no more because, you know, your brothers and sisters don't want you down there because, you know, you're dirty, and, you know, you don't follow the rules, and, you know, you don't care, you just don't care. You know? I spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and days and months doing this stuff. My daughter, you know, has done nothing. But she gets all the authority while these baboons, swarm her and convince her that I hate her and that I'm working against her best interests, right? That I don't love my grandson. Here's my grandson. That's what he looks like in foster care. Very miserable, hurt, displaced, sad. Lost, confused, angry, depressed, lonely, destitute, set up to fail, been labeled a baby delinquent, has been forced to take drugs that he never needed. And this is what the lawyer is protecting, this information, this fact. And they're going to use my sick daughter and they're going to twist the truth around just so they can continue hiding it. To your honor, 13 pages hasn't been read. To your honor, another 8 pages for the second day of court, where I thought that maybe the judge would get it, hasn't been read. Possible sexual abuse perpetrated on my grandson that nobody seems to care about, right? Because they're not really investigating it, because the social workers are Puritans and they never do anything wrong, and neither do the foster care parents. Actual witness to the way the social worker was scowling at the kids on the first or second day of court and how it made her feel as a teenager. Andre's petition, something like 90 or 100 signatures. Plus, I have like 13 of my own references from families and children that I work with in the community that nobody's read. Letter of consent from my daughter and the designated father, that if something should happen to them, that, I'm in charge of Andre, right, as guardian. And then just the information for, 2 or 3 pieces of paper that holds this family hostage in terms of court dates and that type of stuff. April 23rd, 2010, before the baby was born, I tried to make application to take custody of my grandson before he was born because the people on the streets wanted to abort him in a backyard alley. And if it wasn't that, it was doctors were telling her to abort the baby. And then I'm told I can't take custody of the baby. And then when the baby's born, social workers are saying, oh, no, don't do that. Because we got bigger fish to fry. We're going to wait till your daughter fucks up sooner or later, and we're going to come in and we're going to swoop in and we're going to take him, and we're going to make it so that you never fucking have him. Disability application. One that never got sent out. That's signed. And actually, I just found this. I didn't even know it existed. Newton Advocacy Group filled it out. And it specifically states that my daughter depends on me to help her with certain things in life. And that's the honest to God truth. And these people fail to acknowledge that. As a matter of fact, they exploit it. They exploit it to the max. They take a mentally disturbed, incapable, supposedly adult. Seen this when she was a teenager. My daughter was an addict when she was a teenager. They put more onus on the teenager than they did on the parent. Just like they're putting more onus on a drug addict than they are on a functioning human being such as myself. What does that say about these professional people? The history of the father in terms of the problems that this family has had to face because the courts themselves and all these professional people failed to meet his needs. So, there's the history of his court proceedings and what this family has had to face because of him. And still, Andre thrived. This is the father's disability application. And why the way he is the way he is. But yet, they're taking all this information and they're ignoring it. And they're trying to suggest that the mother and the father are quite capable of making sound decisions on behalf of their son, while they ignore the one that puts 1,000% effort into the whole process so that they can avoid being responsible to the children they serve. So, anyway, that's that part. Oh, yeah. Point is, I've asked my daughter to leave. I can't. 26 years, 13 years of bullshit. And I've got fucking professional people with all the money, all the resources, all the education, pointing their fingers at me so they can keep my grandson and destroy his life, while they use and manipulate vulnerable people with mental illness. I'll take my chances. I already told my daughter, you can get vindictive. You can let these people play on you like those fucking drug dealers back in the day when you were 17. You're nothing like you're nothing more than a Felicia. Nothing more. These people are nothing more than a Felicia. Nothing more than a Norma, Jimmy Tracci. Just those kind of people that sit up in those crack houses and take advantage of all these little drug addicts that come in through the door. These people that are manipulating you to make you think that you're normal, as they take advantage of you. Well, they're no different than those ones walking in when I used to bang on the door, say, "Let out my daughter, let out my daughter." Okay, the same kind of mentality. But after all this time, at the end of the month, I've asked her to leave. I told her I'd show up at court. She's already making threats on me. And these people will probably swoop in and play on that because that's what they're leading it up to. And that's fine, because this family is tired of being held emotionally hostage to do the right thing. And my daughter needs to grow up and start taking some responsibility for her antics. And I've helped her my whole life since she's been born. And I will just make plans to put forward lawsuits. And I won't be the only one, because I'm going to help my kids too, right? It seems to be our only recourse. So my daughter either smartens up or she can get out. In the meantime, 5 months later, we're still waiting for the program. Oh, and I've been giving her due notice. Okay, she got a 30-day notice. I'm just being more adamant about it. I don't want her to leave, personally, because I'm afraid that she'll just get lost in the fray again. It's very easy for my daughter to be taken advantage of. But then at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and be held emotionally hostage and have my kids being held emotionally hostage while professional people use that vulnerability in our house in terms of having to cope with a drug addict that doesn't want to take responsibility. And they just want to enable that along so that they can keep the prize, which is my grandson.